This video is about how to create full citations in MLA 9th format. MLA 9th is a continuation of MLA 8th, but with many more situations explained. Two changes I've noticed between MLA 8th and MLA 9th are that seasons in a citation are no longer capitalized. Also, although the https:// portion of a link is removed from all internet links and citations, exceptions are made for DOI links, which maintain a full URL, and when a final project should have working links. MLA Handbook 195 and 196. Citations in MLA are in predictable patterns. The 8th edition began this overarching formula for all citations, and it has continued. All MLA citations follow this basic formula in purple. Citations are created by following the elements in order and by using the punctuation in the formula. Notice that the first two elements, author and title, end in a period. Then everything else is a comma, except for abbreviations, until the last element, location, which also ends with a period. Imagine how fast you could check an MLA citation once you learn the formula. The slide shows how a book and a journal might look using this formula. Let's begin with the use of authors. All citation styles handle major parts of a citation in some identifiable way. You will notice that all citations usually begin with an author element. In MLA, the full citation for an item with one author uses last name, comma, first name. Note the example on the slide. MLA has always done something peculiar when it comes to the work with two authors. At the beginning of the reference, the first author is listed last name first, comma, first name, but the second author is listed in normal fashion, separated by an and, as shown. This is particular to MLA. For three or more authors, give only the first author last name first, first name last. Follow this with a comma, a space, and then put the Latin abbreviation et al., followed by a period. Et al. Means and others. With an organizational author, the entity is written in standard form, followed by a period. The next aspect of MLA we will learn is the title. There are three important considerations to learn with titles, which, like the author section, is always followed by a period. Titles are always in title case. In other words, all important words in the title are capitalized along with proper nouns. According to MLA Handbook, titles of items that are whole unto themselves, MLA Handbook 8th, page 26, like whole books, are italicized. Examples 1 and 2 on the slide. Note in this example how the short story Her Best Friend is in the larger work American Tales of the 20th Century. The smaller title is in quotes and is followed by a period. The larger work is in italics and is followed by a comma. The third consideration with titles is related to the second issue. These larger work titles that contain smaller parts or sections are known now as containers in MLA style. Containers like anthologies, series, journals, online databases, YouTube, and Twitter are always in italics, come immediately after the smaller section title, and are always followed by a comma. I've provided a few examples that show you how you can identify larger works that contain smaller titles. Can you think of any others? For more information on containers, see the definition section beginning on page 134 of the MLA 9th Handbook. Remember that each element of the citation is entered top to bottom in order. If the element is not present in the item you are citing, just skip it and move to the next element. Remember also that each element shown includes punctuation that follows that element in the citation. We've dealt with elements of author, title, and container. What are the others? Continuing with the order, contributors. This element is where you put lesser editors, translators, illustrators, etc. You can also call attention to someone, say a vocalist or a director. Version. Here is where edition number would live, or something labeled Special Edition or Revised Edition. Note, according to page 157 of the MLA 9th Handbook, the version element is lowercase unless it follows a period, which it often will. For example, capital E, Book Edition. MLA often requires capital lettering after a period and lowercase lettering after a comma, but this would not apply to proper nouns. Number. This is a volume and issue number stated as shown. A report number, or other numerical system like a series with episodes. The number element is also usually in lowercase. Publisher. The publishing company, agency, or organization. It is used for everything but journal articles. Notice that the university presses are abbreviated to UP without punctuation, regardless of the order of the name. Publication date. This could be a season or a month and day, but is often simply a year. Note that in MLA 9th, seasons are now in lowercase. MLA 9th Handbook, page 185. Location. This is usually page numbers, a URL, or a DOI. Digital Object Identifier. DOIs are most common with journal articles, but books may have them as well. The location can also be a video timestamp or a place you saw a lecture or play. In a more complex citation, where you have more than one container, you simply start the formula again, leaving out the elements that don't apply. As you follow the citation patterns in MLA, see if you can follow how the formula created the citation. Note the following examples of MLA style patterns, frequently used in citations. The first example on this slide shows a journal article that was found in a database. The article title, surrounded in quotations, is contained by the journal Filmist, in italics, that published it. Creating the first container. The pages this article is located on in the journal create the first location, pages 16 to 25. But because you found it in a database, you recognize the database as the second container, and the Digital Object Identifier, DOI, as the second location. Similarly, with example 2, a book chapter, the chapter titled An Alien Face is in quotations, while the book, Figure Drawing Aliens, the book the chapter is in italics. Figure Drawing Aliens is also the first container, because it contains the chapter we wish to cite. Are you noticing that containers are always in italics? Yes, it's always the case in MLA. We get the first location for the reference with the pages that make up the chapter, 21 to 30. Since the HathiTrust Digital Library is how we are accessing this information, it becomes the second container and is placed in italics. Because digital formats usually involve access by links, the URL link is a way for the reader to access this item and becomes the second location. All the elements in between second container and second location were skipped because they were not present in the source or were not already represented in the reference. Note that the verb form of the contributor is written in full in past tense along with the word by. Also note that because the word illustrated is preceded by a comma, it is in lowercase. In a website, the title Writing in Your Cellar is in quotations because it follows the pattern of being contained within the website as a whole, writing.com. Notice again that specific publication dates have the day before the month followed by the year. The month is abbreviated if it is longer than 4 letters, MLA Handbook 9th, page 295. There are no page numbers in the website, so the URL is the only location. When no author is present in a website citation, And if the publisher is not significantly different than the website name, it is skipped over as well. MLA Handbook 9th edition, page 165. If you would like more information about creating full citations in MLA 9th style, contact the Writing Center on the 3rd floor of Glickman Library, or contact the Reference Office at 780-4272, or use our Ask a Librarian links on the USM Library's homepage. Thanks so much for your time and attention.